I'll never forget the morning I realized something was wrong. Me boots crunching through the vineyard, the sun already hot on my neck, rows of grapevines stretching out like old friends under a clear California sky. Everything looked right, the leaves green and heavy, the grapes just starting to blush purple, but there was this quiet, too quiet. The irrigation lines, usually humming like a soft pulse beneath the soil, were dead silent. I knelt down, pushed aside some mulch, and touched the dirt dry as a bone, like the desert had snuck in overnight. 2 days ago, it was perfect, moist, alive. Now, it felt like betrayal. I checked the drip lines, the pump, the valve box where my water tied into the community system locked. A shiny new padlock from the Pine Valley HOA, glinting like it was mocking me. Taped to a post nearby was a letter, all crisp and official, Pine Valley letterhead staring me down. As of July 10th, irrigation to Lot 22 is suspended pending environmental compliance review. No warning, no call, no nothing, just my vineyard, my life's work cut off at the knees. I stood there, heart hammering, staring at that lock, and thought, this ain't a mistake. This is war. My name's Tom Carver, and that vineyard's more than just land. It's me and Ellie's dream. Built from scratch on a scrappy 5 acres we bought 15 years ago. Back then, it was just weeds and dreams, but we dug every trench, laid every pipe, tied every vine with our own hands. After Ellie passed 3 years ago, cancer stealing her breath by breath, those vines became my anchor, my way to keep her close. I'd walk the rows at dawn, talking to her like she was still there, coffee in hand, laughing at the fog. So when I saw that lock, it wasn't just water they were cutting, it was her, it was us. I tried calling the HOA office, got voicemail, left messages that went nowhere. I drove to their little office in a strip mall, wedged between a smoothie shop and a nail salon, and got stonewalled by a clerk named Debbie who wouldn't even look up from her screen. Board decision, Mr. Carver, she said, like she was reading a script. Non-compliance with water usage bylaws. Talk to President Mitchell. I pressed. Non-compliance with what? I've been on the same irrigation schedule for a decade. She just shrugged, told me to file a request to speak at the next board meeting in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. My vines wouldn't last 3 days. That night, I pored over every HOA document I had, bylaws, emails, anything that might explain this. Found one vague rule about water restrictions during droughts, but it applied to lawns, not farms. My vineyard's agricultural zoned differently, and I'd never gone over my limit. I sent emails, left voicemails for James Mitchell, the HOA president, nothing. Meanwhile, my vines started wilting, leaves curling like they were begging for help. By day 5, I was hauling what little water I had in a reserve tank, barely keeping the core rows alive. It was like watching my heart dry out, one vine at a time. Then I got a tip from my neighbor Luis, who grows strawberries down the road. Over coffee, he leaned in, voice low, and said, "Heard at the last HOA meeting they're saying you're hogging water, messing up their fancy flower beds by the entrance." I laughed bitter. I water at 4 a.m., Luis on a timer. You know that. He nodded, then dropped the bomb. Yeah, but Mitchell's been gunning for you. Said your vineyard's too rustic for the new Pine Valley vibe. That hit like a punch. 2 years back, a slick developer, Crestwood Holdings, offered me a fat check to sell my land for luxury condos. I said Noelle's memory wasn't for sale. Now it was clear this wasn't about water. It was about forcing me out. I started documenting everything: moisture readings, photos of shriveled grapes, drone footage of the damage. I wasn't just saving my crop. I was building a case. Called an old friend, Sarah, at the county water board. She dug into it and called back, voice tight. "Tom, they filed a complaint saying you're tapping emergency fire reserves. It's a lie, your line's not even connected to that system." I gripped the phone, rage boiling. "Who signed it?" I asked. "James Mitchell," she said. Of course. Mitchell, the guy who'd moved here from LA, always in a press suit, talking about elevating Pine Valley's brand. He'd hated my vineyard from day one, too messy, too real for his polished vision. I filed a grievance with the HOA, sent them every log, every photo, even Sarah's findings. Their response? A cold email. Grievance reviewed. Insufficient grounds to restore water. That's when I knew this was personal. Mitchell wasn't just playing hardball. He was trying to bury me. But he didn't know who he was dealing with. I'm a retired Navy vet, served in the Gulf, faced storms worse than his paperwork. So I called my daughter, Mia, who works in supply chain up in Oregon. "Dad," she said, "you're under contract with Northridge Cellars, right? If your harvest tanks because of this, that's tortious interference. They could sue." My heart skipped. She was right. Half my grapes were promised to Northridge for a limited edition Pinot. I fired off an email to their acquisitions head, Laura Chun, laying it all out of the lock, the lies, the dying vines. Laura didn't waste time. By morning, she replied, "Tom, this is serious. Send us everything. Our legal team's on it." I sent her the war chest photos, logs, emails, the works. That afternoon, I was on a call with their lawyer, Mark Torres, cool as ice, asking for timestamps, receipts, every detail. "This isn't just about you, Tom," he said. "If they can do this to you, they can do it to any grower we work with. We're filing a cease and desist, and if they don't back off, we sue." For the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of hope, like I wasn't fighting alone. But Mitchell didn't blink. Instead, he turned up the heat. A week later, a certified letter showed up fines for landscape degradation, $2,000, unauthorized irrigation mods, $1,500, and a cease and desist ordering me to stop talking to the press. Then code enforcement started sniffing around, nitpicking my shed, my fence, even my gravel driveway. One day, I got a call from my banca lien on my property for unpaid fines. I nearly lost it. "It's fraudulent," I told them. Laura's team jumped in, got the lien frozen, but the message was clear. Mitchell wanted me broken. So I went bigger. I sent the whole story to the local paper, every document, every photo of my dying vines. They ran it front page. Veteran farmer says HOA sabotaged vineyard for condo deal. The town exploded. Neighbors I hadn't seen in years started calling, some apologizing, some sharing their own HOA horror stories. A woman from across the county said her orchard got fined out of existence. Then Northridge filed the loss of tortious interference, economic sabotage, civil harassment, the works. They named Mitchell and the whole board. The best part? They dug up emails where Mitchell bragged to Crestwood, "Carver's stubborn, but he'll fold without water." Arrogant bastard. The HOA started cracking. One board member, Emily Tran, quit, left a note saying she couldn't stomach the lies. Another, Greg Holt, bailed soon after, claiming he'd been kept in the dark. Mitchell went quiet, hiding out, probably sweating in his lake house. The neighborhood changed. Two people started asking questions, demanding transparency. A group of residents, led by a retired teacher named Marla, formed a reform committee, digging into the HOA's shady finances. They found Mitchell had funneled dues to a landscaping firm he part-owned. The nerve. The court date came, and I walked in wearing my old Navy jacket, not for show, but because it felt right. The courtroom was packed reporters, neighbors, even farmers from other towns. I testified about the vines, the years with Ellie, the nights I slept in the barn to save what I could. I handed the judge my report, the cost of control, every loss calculated $90,000 in crops, $15,000 in canceled orders. Mitchell sat there, face like a cracked mask, his lawyers whispering furiously. The judge didn't rule that day, but I saw it in his eyes she got it. This wasn't just about water. It was about power gone rotten. A week later, the hammer dropped. The judge ruled for Northridge and Mesick's figures and damages, water restored, fines, and liens wiped clean. Mitchell resigned in a 3 a.m. email, whining about health issues. The board collapsed, replaced by Marla's committee real people, not suits. Neighbors started showing up, helping replant, bringing coffee, even kids from the local AG class to fix my irrigation. Northridge extended my contract, donated new Vineslaura's legacy. We called them, half joking, half serious. The vineyard's coming back, slow but sure, green shoots pushing through like they remember how to fight. Standing in the rows now, I feel Ellie in the breeze, in the soft hiss of the drip lines. The land's healing, and so am I. Pine Valley's different toolosphere, more voices, real community. We got a harvest festival now, nothing big, just music, wine, kids running wild. It's messy, imperfect, alive. But here's the thing. This fight wasn't just about me. It was about standing up when someone tries to choke out what you love. So, I gotta ask, have you ever faced a system that tried to silence you? An HOA, a boss, a neighbor? What did you do? Drop it in the comments, because trust me, your story matters. We don't grow stronger in silence, we grow in the fight.